ever feel like the harder you push yourself to be productive, the more overwhelmed you actually get? Well, one reason might be because your nervous system is in fight or flight mode and you don't even realize it. And no productivity trick in the world is going to help when that's the case. Let's consider that.
You've got a why. Let me help you bring it to work. Consider your life. Be on purpose.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Jennifer Meyer, and this is Consider Jennifer. This is our space to dig in, live with integrity, and nurture our lives. I first learned the power of self-leadership when my son was diagnosed with autism. To help him thrive, I had to build systems, things that helped him regulate his nervous system, ways that helped him stay calm, steady, focused all throughout the day. What surprised me was how much those same systems, those same practices helped me too. And when I started applying those systems to my own life, I could lead myself better and get more done. And most importantly, I stopped feeling so depleted and overwhelmed. The nervous system is the basis for everything. I mean, think of it as your operating system. It's constantly running. It's always in the background and impacting almost every other system in your body all of the time. One of its primary jobs is managing your stress response. And you've probably heard of, the two modes. You've got fight or flight, and you've got rest and digest, right? This is actually an adaptive process. It really is. It was designed to keep us safe. And when your brain perceives a threat, whether that's an actual physical threat, an emotional threat, or just a perceived threat, your nervous system sends out signals in the forms of stress hormones. These are things like adrenaline and cortisol. I'm sure you've heard of both. And what happens in real time is your amygdala, the part of your brain that's always scanning for potential danger, it flips on. And when that happens, your heart rate increases and your blood pressure goes up and your breathing gets shallow and faster, and blood flow moves away from the prefrontal cortex, right, which is this part of the brain that is responsible for rational thinking, empathy, learning, creativity, and all of that blood moves into your arms and legs so you can fight or flee. And that's really great, especially if you need to run from a bear. But it's not so great if you're just reading an email and you're frustrated about what you're reading. Here's the most important part though. When your nervous system is stuck in that stress mode, when it's always in fight or flight, you literally can't think as clearly or respond as thoughtfully because your brain won't allow you to do it. Not until you've completed that stress cycle and moved back into what's called rest and digest, right? That's the state where your body can actually recover and your mind can focus. You're able to think more clearly. And if you follow that through logically, it becomes super clear that if you want to engage with life in a way that feels good, you can't stay chronically stuck in negative stress. Now, some stress is helpful and it sharpens focus and it can push us into taking action. But living there all the time actually keeps you from accessing your best thinking or creativity or ultimately your best self. Okay, so how do you shift yourself out of that survival state? That's really what this video is about, and get back into nervous system regulation. There are dozens of ways that you can do this, but here are a few of my go-to favorites. Breath work. Just breathe. Breathe with an extended exhale. In for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. That signals safety to your nervous system. And if you do this a couple of times, you will feel your body start to settle. Okay. Grounding through gravity, and I know this sounds weird, but I like to sit in a chair or on the floor, close my eyes, and just notice the weight of my body. Feel how gravity holds me to the chair. And weighted blankets do exactly the same thing, right? They cue your body that it's safe to relax. It's a really interesting experience. 3, movement. Stress hormones like adrenaline get stored in your body if you don't release them. It's very important. And that's why shaking your hands or your arms or jumping up and down or even doing a couple of burpees in the middle of a stressful situation can really help complete that stress cycle and bring you back into balance. And last, joy and gratitude. Shift your focus to something that brings you joy or gratitude. Now, this is not toxic positivity. It's a psychological shift. When you think of something that makes you smile, your brain releases different chemicals. It signals to your nervous system that there really isn't a threat. You're safe. I mean, if it sucks, say it sucks, but then smile. So the takeaway here is that productivity starts with calm, not chaos. And when your system is regulated, you can think clearly, lead intentionally, and ultimately engage fully with your life. And this is the foundation of the work that I do with teams and organizations, because employees who can regulate themselves engage better, trust more, and stay longer. Bonus points when leadership and management can do that too. It reduces burnout and builds healthier cultures. And it also equips just people with the practical tools to live fuller lives without overwhelm so they can show up stronger for their families, their communities, and their work. So if this resonates with you, I would love for you to join me in my upcoming workshop at the end of September, September 27th. It's going to be in person in the Raleigh area. So if you are local, check the link in the description box below. We're going to be digging deeper into things like nervous system regulation and self-leadership value practices that you can use every single day. And if you are a leader and looking to bring stuff like this to your organization or your community and your team, then please let's connect, because this is the work that I love to do. And with that, everyone, until next time, consider your life, be on purpose. Bye.